Hello and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. So you guys, I'm so excited. It's finally time to set up my budget planner. So I'm going to link a couple of videos down in the description. So if it's your first time seeing this planner, I completely made this planner myself. The cover, the interior pages, of course not the disc, but the discs are 1.5 inch, so a little bit bigger than Happy Planners if anybody was ever wondering. But I'm going to put a couple videos down in the description so that if you want to see just what all this planner has in a quick silent flip through, I'll have that video. If you want to see a detailed flip of this planner and what all it has to offer, I'll leave that video down in the description. But in this video, it is time for me to set up my very own planner. So this is the Drill Down Budget Planner. I will be using the light biweekly version for 2024. And just in case I didn't announce it, the max budget planners did come in. I do have them, so we will officially be launching Black Friday weekend, so mark your calendars. So if you watched my drill down budget process video, I am going to be doing the rosy step of the process where I'm going to be going through and setting up all of the setup pages in the front. So that is what we're going to do over these next couple of videos. So let's hop right in. Starting with the annual calendar. I went through and I started to set it up so that I can make these videos a little bit faster and I can just say everything I want to without being slowed down by having to write everything. So usually on the yearly overview page, I just mark off my paydays, and that's what you see circled in purple right here. And then the planner does come with bank holidays. These are the only holidays that you will see in the planner. I don't have any of the holidays marked off in the monthly calendar. You can do a Monday start or a Sunday start on your calendars if you want to. It's completely undated. These are the only holidays that you will see in the planner. So this line page, what I'm using it for this year is basically to note down any hair appointments that I do. I typically like to book those in advance, so I'll write down what beauty service I'm about to get, the date that I'm thinking to do it, because I am able to go onto my beautician's website and book the date myself. So before I go on and book it, I will write down a kind of estimated date about when I want to get it done. So for Valentine's Day, I'm looking to get it done the weekend before Valentine's Day, so that's where I note it right here about the time that I want to get it done. And then once I book the appointment, I put the time and the date actually right here, and then I'll put the price in this column. So I think this will serve me well because I have been needing this in my budget planner right now, and it's good for me to have a space for it. So I thought this was appropriate because I usually don't do much notes here once the year begins anyway. So that's how I'm using that page. And then on the other side of the page, this side is a line notes page, and then this is the 2025 yearly overview calendar, and I just continue to mark my paydays on here, and I leave this page blank so I can note down anything that needs to happen for 2025. So there's that, and it's blank for right now. Moving on to this page is completely blank, no lines, no nothing, because I intend for this to be a vision board. Whether you want to draw it out or you want to create something on Canva and print it out, or you want to do it old school and get some magazines and stuff like that and cut it out and piece together a vision board, whatever you want to do, that's what the vision was for this page. And then on this page, it's a line notes page, but I went ahead and sectioned it into 4 sections. So just in case you want to do 4 goals, you want to do one goal broken down by quarter, it's whatever you want to do. So that's what that is for. I haven't filled mine out because I typically don't share it once I set it up, but if you want to see, since the year is coming to a close, I've already shared this on my channel, so I'll go ahead and share what I typically do. What I typically do is a word of the year, and then I'll do a vision board with pictures or whatever that corresponds to the word of the year. So this year in 2023, my word of the year was launch, because I wanted to launch my drill down budget planners. I wanted to launch my shop, which is going to be called Planner Function. and I wanted to not launch, but like excel on YouTube, and I wanted to hit 5K on YouTube. So if you want to help me with that goal, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. But typically that is what I will do on these pages. So I'll probably put like the year up here, and then I'll pick quarterly goals according to my word of the year to help me reach the goals that I envision. I thought I was going to use the word connect for my 2024 word of the year, but now I'm second guessing it, and I don't know what word I'm going to use because my goals have kind of changed, but they're still in the works for 2024. So that is still blank, but that is how I intend to use it. You guys are getting a sneak peek of my catch-all planner. I created this cover myself, but I popped in one of my sample planners so I could use it as my side hustle planner. So this is what the page typically looks like. It has 12 blank boxes for you to do whatever you want. If you want to track holidays and birthdays, if you want to pre-plan, or if you want to do your budget categories like I am doing, this is my version of my budget categories. I just wanted this page to be functional. I'm going to later go back and add some washi tape at the top, but that's about as decorated as this page is going to get. I mean, I could do it prettier, but the setup pages of a budget planner do take work. It's almost like setting up a goals planner, and it's a lot of information, so I try not to get bogged down in trying to make my planner cute when I'm trying to set it up and get all the information in so I can be ready to go come January. So this is why I just went very, very functional. The color codes are, the gray is just anything that's linked to our standard of living. This orange is like a special tracking, so it's a category that I want to keep an eye on for the next year, so that's why that one is in orange. And then pink is for anything related to the kids specifically, and then blue is like an external category because I'm not really tracking it, but I don't want it to be mixed in with the other categories, so I gave them their own category so that I can lump all expenses related to these categories in there. And then anything in green is a taxable category that we want to track for tax purposes. And then anything in brown is basically like a temporary or infrequent category. So something that we're tracking right now, but it's not like something that's going to be in our lives forever. So debt is one. Pull-ups and wipes for the girls is another one, and then professional services is more like a infrequent category. So these two, debt and pull-ups, is more temporary. Professional services is more infrequent. So if you want to see like how I came up with these categories, I do have a budget categories video that will hopefully give you some ideas on how to set up your budget categories if you're looking for some inspiration. But I'm going to move on from here because I have already covered this in a separate video. Alrighty, so moving on to the monthly bill tracker. So these pages are to track your monthly bills. So just in case I am busy and I don't have time to fully set up my monthly budget, I will go to these pages and just go ahead and check off that these bills were paid. These are bills with the actual due dates. There are consequences if we don't pay these on time. So it doesn't include variable expenses like our food and our gas and things like that because that varies, but it does include our utilities, and I have a note here to go back and change the utilities amount according to their averages for 2023. So since the year isn't over yet when I'm recording this video, I just plugged in the numbers that I typically use during this year's budget, and that's what's in here. But I do want to go back and update it once I have averages for 2023 so that this monthly budget could be a little bit more accurate. But like I was saying, this mostly has our fixed expenses from our monthly budget plus utilities. So here you got space for the description, the due date, the amount that's typically due every month, whether it's on auto pay, and a space for notes. So I put a check if the bill is on auto pay, and then I put a M if it's a bill that we manually pay. So for the most part, all of our bills are on auto pay, and the only thing that we have to go in and manually pay is any debt. So my husband's school loans that are on forbearance, but we are trying to pay the interest that accrues on it, both of our credit cards, and then the transfers that I make to my business account is all things right now that we have on manual pay or manual transfer. Everything else is on auto pay. So I also use this page as part of my monthly closeout. Once the month ends, I will go through and I will check and make sure that all of these bills were paid, because I actually found that that's a good process, because in the month of October, I actually noticed that our electric and our water bill was not paid, and electric was not paid because we got a climate credit by the state of California, so we didn't owe anything, which was good, always good when you don't have to pay a bill. And then our water, the city that we live in, were switching over to an online payment system. So they were just rehauling their entire system, and they were late on generating the month of October's bills. But I wasn't really worried about it, because for whatever reason, our water bill still comes in the mail, but it'll say like do not pay because we're set up on auto pay. So I knew to just keep a lookout for that water bill, and I knew once they had their system up and running that they would go ahead and deduct whatever balance was due. So I wasn't worried about it, but with this monthly tracker, I was able to catch that it wasn't paid and understand why. So I thought that these are good pages for me to include in my monthly closeout, if I wasn't using it to just quickly check off and make sure that bills were paid because I didn't have enough time to set up my budget. So either way, these pages do get used. And right now, everything that we have on here is our mortgage, Vivint, which is our home security, Nelnet, which is my husband's school loans, Amazon Kids Plus for the kids, both my insurance and hubby's insurance, our car loan, our home internet with Frontier, our Costco credit card, our natural gas for the house, water and trash, another credit card that we have, car insurance, Verizon, ID theft, Netflix, our electric bill, pest control, daycare, which is a weekly fee. So whenever something is weekly, I'll just put the day of the week that the payment is supposed to hit every week. So instead of an actual date, I just put Friday as the due date. And then our last one is Randy for short, which is this YouTube channel. So the transfers that I make to my business account for this YouTube channel. So all of that added up is $3,533.41, which is good for us because that gives us a good amount of wiggle room in our monthly budget as far as fixed expenses. But again, it doesn't include gas and groceries, which you guys know can definitely eat into a budget. So this page is all set up. Again, I will go back and make it prettier when I have time, but I'm not going to concentrate on it right now because I just want to get these pages set up and ready to go for the new year. So if you are just starting, I would recommend that you pull about 2 to 3 months worth of statements and just go through and highlight all of your expenses. Go ahead and make your budget categories so you can have a guiding light, a North Star to figure out how you want to categorize your expenses, because that's going to be very important in this budget planner because you do track your budget categories throughout the year. So I would say don't rush through the process, but make sure that you are taking your time and just really thinking about the things that you put in your budget planner. Don't get intimidated because things will change, but just don't rush through it and just like blow it off because you don't think it's going to be important. It really is in this budget planner. So moving on, I do have a space for your annual bills. So I don't really have all that many subscriptions, so I didn't want to call it a subscription tracker. I'd rather call it annual bills because we do own a home and there are certain things like property taxes that we do want to make sure that we're being aware of the time of the year in which those property taxes come out. We do have an escrow account, so we don't have to worry about like actually paying the bill on time, but nevertheless, we still want to keep track of when those property taxes are due, and we do get a copy of the property taxes in the mail. We actually just received ours for this upcoming year, so we'd like to make sure that we actually receive that, because of course we need that for tax purposes as well. So for this annual bill tracker, this one is different from the monthly bill tracker because this one, the due dates go on this side instead of it being a checklist. But you can use it however you want to, but this is how I'm using it. So in this column, you have space for the description, amount, card/account, because if you're like me, whenever a annual bill comes due, I always forget what card or what account that bill is set up to be paid out of, and it's just always a hot mess trying to track it down. And I think that's probably one of the main reasons why we get so many sneaky subscriptions being paid, because it's such a hassle to keep track of those. So this page is definitely going to help you keep track of that and cancel anything that you don't want. So there is a column for whether it's auto paid or not. And again, I'm using that same system where I put a check if it's on auto pay and an M if we go in and manually pay it. And then there is a space for notes. So the notes page or the notes column I do use just to jot down any information, such as like this daycare material fee. I put the amount is $300, but in the notes I put that it's $100 per child. So that is good for me to know how much the annual bill is going to be, and that we have it set up for auto pay on one of our credit cards. And the daycare lets us know when it's upcoming, so we're not blindsided or anything like that. But I like to keep track of it because this daycare material fee is a sinking fund, and I do want to carry that forward in 2024 if possible. So that's why it's noted here. But on this side, I have that it's due on January 16th. So if you see that, both pages have numbered columns, so you can just easily track where on this side of the page you need to write in your due date. So I usually like to take a piece of paper and like do this side like this on the monthly and the annual bill tracker, just so that I'm not mixing up the different rows, because I have done that before. So I just like to use a little piece of paper to keep me on track. So the things that we have on annual bill pay is, again, that daycare material fee. We have Amazon Prime. We have ID theft over here, because ID theft is actually an annual bill. We pay it annually, but I do have it on my monthly bill tracker as a monthly bill because it is a sinking fund. You can see right here in the notes that I put that this is a sinking fund. So we put away $12.09 every month, so that when the annual bill of $145 is due on March 7th, we'll have that money ready to go. And then I have where that money is coming out of, and I put that it's coming out of our electric cash envelopes. We use Cube Money. So I'll link that down in the description as well if you want to check it out. But either way, moving on, our car registration for my car is on manual because, of course, you get that bill in the mail in California, and then you have to go online and pay it. So it's not on auto pay, but we can pay it online, which I don't need to make a note because I know that already. Been doing it for years now. So the same thing with my husband's car registration. We have Terminix. It is a sinking fund, but it's a quarterly sinking fund. So for this one, row 6. So I put all of the due dates per quarter. So it's due in March, June, September, and December. So those are all the quarters that we have to pay, but each month I have it set up in our monthly bill tracker because, let's see, pest control. We have $36.34 that we're setting aside each month, so that when the quarterly bill of, what is it, $109 is due in March, then June, then September, and December comes due, we'll have that money. So I also put in the notes, sorry if I repeated myself, but I have in the notes that this is a sinking fund, and if for, I don't know why I keep putting that this is $60 a month. It is not $60 a month. I don't know where I got that number from. I think that's what hubby told me when we was first looking into it. Anyways, I have in the notes that it is $37. I'm rounding up. It is $37 a month, just in case we want to set it up as a sinking fund, which we did. So Crunchyroll is an anime subscription, Costco membership, we have the executive membership, and we have the Costco credit card with Citi. Both of those give cashback rewards. One of them you can only use at Costco, and then the other one you can use wherever you want. And I think they just updated it to where, don't quote me, but I think it's the Costco credit card rewards that you can get direct deposited into your account. And then the Costco membership rewards with the executive membership, you can only use at Costco. So either way, we use both of those rewards to pay off this membership. Didn't do it this year because I used one of the rewards for a Christmas sinking fund, and then the other one, when I went in this last time, I had to pay it in October, but I forgot my actual like rewards paper, so I couldn't use it at the register when it was time to renew. But that's still $100 or so that we can use towards our next Costco purchase, which we're completely fine with. It's going to get used either way, is what I'm trying to say. So right here is our escrow analysis, and I didn't do an amount or anything like that because the escrow analysis, which is basically the mortgage company telling us whether our account has too little or too much money in it for the upcoming year to pay taxes and insurance out of our actual mortgage account. So that's what that is, but I didn't put an amount because we don't know what that is. It changes every year. And then card slash account, it's going to come out of whatever account that we want to use at that time, whether it be our checking account or we just beef up our mortgage payment so that there is more money in the escrow account and things like that. So I didn't really need these columns, but I did need to make a note that any shortage payments are due in June, and that if we get a new mortgage, it takes effect in July. So that's a very important note for us. And then for the due date, I just put June 1st. That's when we should start looking out for that letter in the mail that tells us whether we have a shortage or overage. But Lord willing, I am getting rid of this escrow account in 2024, and we are just going to pay our taxes and our insurance ourselves, because I really do not like getting that letter in the mail and them saying that our account is short by like $2,000 and that we have to pay it within the next 60 days or so, or our mortgage is going to go up, which is absolutely ridiculous. So I'm going to look into that in 2024 about closing that escrow account if we can. So this one is daycare camp. I don't really have any information on that one because I think it was just added to our daycare tuition. So I'll have to add the daycare for like an estimate on that if I can't find the paperwork from this year. But property taxes, I just put that the first half is due in December and the second half is due in April. And then for our annual electric, I put that it's due in June. So we do have solar panels, and every month we are paying for just basically our connection fee. So we're paying the electric company for servicing our house every month with electricity, but our actual usage is set up to be billed annually, and that bill is due in June. Alrighty, so moving on. The next one is a credit card that I have had for the longest time but never really used unless it's like a real emergency or I'm just trying to keep it active. But it does have a annual fee for it, so that one is $50 if it hasn't increased since the last time I paid it this year. And then we do have an app that's $14.99 that we use for our meal plan, grocery list, and everything like that. It's called AnyList, and the paid version is called AnyList Complete. So that is $14.99 and totally worth it. I do recommend. And then another one of our credit cards that we actually do use has a $95 annual fee, and we're willing to pay it because the perks and the points and all that is worth it. So we do have that credit card fee that we have to pay every year. So, and that one is due when? Oh, that one Yeah, we just paid that one. So in November. Okay, so I didn't add up all of the amounts, and full disclosure, I did put this line on the wrong column, so I didn't move it over. It's supposed to be right here and not right here, but I will make that correction in the 2025 planners. So yeah, I'm going to stop here for this video. I will continue to set up these pages with you guys in the following videos, but I just wanted to do a quick overview of how I set up my monthly and annual bills trackers, and just share some inspiration to help you guys get started. But yeah, so I say the most important would be your budget categories. Don't rush them. Take your time to set them up and figure them out, because you are going to be referring to them throughout the year. So just go ahead and take your time and figure out some categories for yourself. Don't do like 50 categories, because this planner only has space for 30. Yeah, 30 categories, but I would say about 5 may not be enough, but it depends on your budget. If you don't have a complex budget, then 5 may be perfectly fine for you, but that's up to you. And I just want to make sure that you guys know that these pages are really going to serve you throughout the year. So if you don't do it on these 2 pages, wherever you write them, just make sure that your budget categories make sense to you and are realistic for your lifestyle. So it's all I'm trying to say. So I will catch you guys in the next video. We're going to continue setting up the setup pages for this drill down budget planner. So I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.